Hey folks, this is Matt once again, coming at you with another review for my good friend Mike OCP, another one of the films that he had sent me. And this is one that he was curious on my opinion about, called Nightflyers from 1987. Now apparently it's based on a book, a novel by George R. Martin. I think it was part of an anthology. It's not really the book itself, Nightflyers, but it's called Nightflyers, but I think it's part of a little anthology, and it was one of the stories. And to be honest, this isn't really a film I can yell about, but in a way I would. But it just, there's only, even if I don't like a film, it's hard, sometimes it's hard for a film to yell about because there's really not much to this film. I know my friend Mike likes the film, and that's fine. I like the poster. I don't know if you can see the poster. If I can put it around here without disconnecting the damn thing. I like this cover, which, you guys can look up for a better deal. It says, "Where they're headed is not the mystery. What's taking them there is." And at the end of the day, it's about this computer on the ship that wants to kill the folks on the ship. Stars Catherine Mary Stewart, and that's one of the things I liked about the film was Catherine Mary Stewart. I liked her as an actress. I really enjoyed her in Night of the Comet. I really liked her in The Last Starfighter. What else? Oh yeah, Weekend at Bernie's. She was in Weekend at Bernie's. I really do enjoy Weekend at Bernie's. But yeah, The Last Starfighter, Night of the Comet. Really liked her, and I liked her in this film. I think she does fine in this film as well. And this is one of those films I just say it would be due for a remake. Like if they're remaking films, they can remake films like this. Pretty much the gist of the story. You have a group of people, like you actually have Uncle Phil himself, James Avery, who, yes, he was the voice of the Shredder in the 80s Ninja Turtle cartoons. He's actually a supporting role in this flick as visual documentarian, but most notably a chef. Of course, the black guy has to be the chef, and he does die. He's not the first to die, but he does die. But you have a group of people, like Catherine Mary Stewart's the leader, you have this professor guy, you have this guy who's a telepath and then his empath, you have a biologist, I know you have Lisa Blount, who's no longer with us. She was in Prince of Darkness, John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness. You have about 8 people, and they go on this ship because they want to find this alien creature out there somewhere. And they get on the ship, and they find... I will say that the effects are not too bad for a low-budget film. Granted, I don't think this film has ever been released on DVD, so if you don't want to watch this film, it would be either on YouTube or a VHS copy. So the picture quality is not going to be that great. But I do see that the special effects for a low-budget film, I actually thought was pretty decent. It's a little better than any sci-fi channel film that you see nowadays. So I at least give credit to that, and I like Catherine Mary Stewart. And pretty much they're going off to see this alien intelligence, but what happens is they find out in their ship that, first off, the captain only appears through hologram. And they find, well, that's kind of strange that the captain only appears in hologram. And the guy who played the captain did not do too bad of a job. Michael Praed. It's Praed. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but Michael Praed. He didn't do too bad of a job either. And pretty much as they go off, the reason I didn't care for this film is really not much happens for a good portion of the movie. It's pretty much them on the ship, Catherine Mary Stewart doing these fucking gymnastics, and the hologram captain's watching her. The telepath guy, it seems like from the get-go he's going out of it. And he's like, oh my god, the ship is alive. The ship has a life of its own. And you have this idea that I kind of find a little bit interesting, where at the end of the day you find out that the guy way back in the day, he was raised by the ship. This guy has never been outside the captain. The captain has never been outside of the ship. He's been raised by the ship when he was a kid. And the reason for that is that his mother, somehow her will, her conscience, her intelligence became with the ship. Like her will became a part of the ship even after she died. So now I guess sort of the case of Mama don't like tattletales. Mama don't like the idea because the captain has the hots for Catherine Mary Stewart, and he's like, you know what? I want to leave. This is going to be my last mission. Even though I might die because I'm more used to the environment here, I still want to live a couple minutes as a man instead of living in this prison. And the ship don't like the fact that her friend or her son is going to leave, so she's pissed off at the others and is going to fuck them up one by one. The only problem is there's not much happening. Not much happening. There's a bit of narration with Catherine Mary Stewart. Uh, then this final step happens, like the kitchen blows up and James Avery, his fingers are gone. But then he uses this machine to put most of his fingers back. The telepath guy is going nuts. He takes this drug. He wants to get into the mind of this machine, and he goes crazy, fucks up. You think, oh, yes, yes, Catherine Mary Stewart, we must go and stop this. But you find out that he's pretty much being controlled now by this intelligence. Tries to kill Catherine Mary Stewart. Catherine Mary Stewart fucks him up. I like that. Kicks him in the balls. I'm like, yeah, I kicked him in the balls. And then finally, the captain, he's fighting back against the machine, and yeah, this effect, which this is a very not too good of an effect. His mind lightning is fighting against the alien machine, the ship machine, and so he's able to control the laser against the telepath who's controlled by the fucking computer, and Brad cuts the guy's arm off, and then nice effect, cuts the guy's face, the telepath's face, like from here to here. It kind of reminds me of Intruder, but Intruder was much bloodier. But from here to here, and you see that sort of go, because the guy's laying down, and it cuts right here. You see, I'm like, okay, interesting. The computer opens the doors to space and makes one of the crew fly off into space. And pretty much the captain finally escapes, fucks up the machine, and he thinks it's finally dead. Oh shit, we gotta fix this ship, otherwise it's gonna blow up in a certain amount of time. They're trying to fix it, but the ship turns back on by itself. One guy goes in, he says, I'm gonna kill this thing. Ultimately, he gets fucked up. This professor guy who's outside, his little ship cubicle thing gets blown up. James Avery and Lisa Blount, they go in to chase the other guy, but the other guy's dead, and now it's a really bad sort of puppet, you could tell. Kind of like in Evil Dead 2, when you notice that headless thing was a puppet. Here is the same thing, and it's headless. And kills the girl, stabs James Avery with a knife, attacks Catherine Mary Stewart, the captain, shoots at it a little bit, and using, basically, while Catherine Mary Stewart keeps getting attacked by this corpse, the captain's using his mind bullets, his mind lightning, his mind electricity against, Mama. And Mama now is in this body of this woman, or maybe it's the woman of his mom, whatever the fuck. attacks the captain with electricity. Catherine Mary Stewart stabs her. They leave. Ship blows up. End the movie. That's what I mean. It got a bit boring. It got a bit boring with the film. The characters, really, there's not much to them. Catherine Mary Stewart, I like her as an actress, but there's really nothing to her character. You know nothing about her. You know, there's no bits of dialogue that's memorable. I thought the effects for a low budget film were interesting. The idea, okay, this guy, he was as a little kid raised by this ship because the will of his mom was sort of put into the ship, and I guess he did a little backstory that his mom was a telepath as well. He has some little bit interesting ideas. From what I understand, they took a big far course off from the little story. And again, I thought I liked a little bit when they're fixing the ship and some people are trying to go back in and some of them get killed. Catherine Mary's doing the captain are going on the ship. And I like how they're in these little cubicle little ships and they're going through the bigger ship. And yeah, some good effects. And you have a little bit of action with Catherine Mary Stewart. Hers is about to run into something, so she has to unbuckle herself and jump onto the captain's ship before that blows up. Did nice use of miniatures and yeah, I thought the effects for the most part, I mean the electricity thing that is very cheap. But there's some special effects. I'm like, okay, cool, you know, it's low budget, but you know, they were trying with the effects and that's more than I can say for films of today. And Catherine Mary Stewart I liked as an actress, but she doesn't have much to do. And the captain, the guy who played the captain, he did fine in the acting. But the story kind of wasn't too exciting. The rest of the characters really had nothing much about them. The the ending was kind of meh. Just like, okay, now we gotta kill the rest of these people off as quickly as we can. And, you know, the killing of the computer, whatever, was kind of like blasé. Because it's basically Captain, the mind electricity. It's like, it's this fucking Star Wars again with the Emperor and shit. And then Catherine Mary Stewart just stabs the back of the woman body, the computer thing. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard for me to review. The only reason I'm reviewing this is because I know my friend Mike wanted my opinion on the film, but it's not really a film that I'd ever watch again. Again, I said before this is a film that could do for a remake, and it just wasn't. It got a bit boring. I think it was an idea that could have been used a lot more potential, to a bigger potential. Maybe if they worked on the script more, maybe if they worked on the characters more, maybe they worked on more exciting action. Because the first 30 minutes, it seems like not much is happening in the first 30 minutes at all. And if they're trying to build character, they kind of failed at that. And the film is not that long. This film is, I believe, under 90 minutes. So it was just kind of there. These are kind of reviews I hate doing because like there's not much to say about it other than what I just said there. I mean, the music is a little bit of a if I can say the word right, synthesizer type of score by Dud Tim, which I don't know what else this guy did for scores. No, the film got a lot of bad reviews and didn't do well. Says has a small cult following, but really, I don't know about that. Just a 3.4 on IMDb, and that's, I think, a fair rating for the film, a 3.4. That I can see a 3.4. I mean, again, it has some decent effects of the miniatures of the ship. When that telepath gets killed, his arm is cut off, and this part of his face. Okay, when I'm talking about effects, I'm talking about those effects. But like the computer itself, it's really kind of cheap looking. Like you see either just a red light on the wall, or I guess when you see the heart of it, it's just kind of blasé. The electricity Mind literacy is not really that great. Wow. Really? This is the same guy who directed this movie. We're going to direct another film called Red Heat, only this is with Linda Blair in 1985. And then would write Memoirs of an Invisible Man, one of the only John Carpenter films that I don't like. Wow. Damn. Anyway, I might as well end it here because it doesn't need to go that long of a review, but it is what it is. I would say check the trailer out. If the trailer interests you, go see it on YouTube. You'll find it on YouTube. If not, you can pass on it. This isn't much of a review, so that's why I'm going to try to put another video up today. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you later.